Welcome, I am Rails Eve and your host for Keep Traveling Your African Vacation, the only podcast which brings you insightful information in the African tourism industry by real tourism professionals. Today is our 21st episode and I have the pleasure of introducing Zofia Dolnikova, who is the resort manager at Zuri Zanzibar in Zanzibar. Zofia, welcome to the show.
Hi, Raul. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
That's a bit of a tongue twister, Zofia at Zuri Zanzibar in Zanzibar.
That's a lot of sets, that's true.
Where originally are you from, Zofia?
I was born in Slovakia, but I've been living in the Czech Republic most of my life. This is also what brought me to Zuri.
Okay, we're going to come back to that, but let me ask you this. For international listeners that don't know the areas that well, what is the easiest way and most logistical, practical way to get to Zuri Zanzibar?
Obviously, to fly, there is an international airport here in Zanzibar. We also have guests arriving either international flights or domestic flights if they combine with the safaris. So this will be major way of transport, but you can also do a ferry from Dar es Salaam, or you could arrive. We do have some travelers coming on these cruise ships. They go Seychelles and then they would stop in Zanzibar. That would also be an option.
Okay, so the international airport you're talking about in Zanzibar, what international airlines actually fly into there?
You get all airlines, as majority of our clients are from Europe. So you would get the KLM, you would get Air France, majority of the European flights, British Airways. But you can also, of course, you have the Qatar Airways, you have Emirates, and then also some charters. So there is seasonally, you have charters even from the Czech Republic, you would get from Spain, from Brazil.
So there's no shortage of being able to get to Zanzibar then?
No, you can get here daily.
Tell me a little bit about what actually is incorporated at the property, Zofia. How big is the property? What activities, etc., do you offer?
Zuri means beautiful in Swahili. So already starting here, we are trying to provide something that is like a Swahili experience. So you really get to know the local culture, the local environment. We are located around 1 hour and 15 minutes drive from the airport on the north, which is known for the most beautiful beaches. We actually won the 4th most beautiful beach a few years ago in this magazine in the world. So it's really something that even travelers that come to Zanzibar, even for a day or two, they come up here because it's the white sand beach that you know from all these posters. So we offer an experience for all. We are open for honeymooners, we are open for families, and we are also open for different events like weddings. So we are quite strong on this and we do lots of different things. One of the main things apart from the beach, which definitely is a beach holiday, it's also our garden. Probably can't see behind me, but if you would, there's a huge jungle and this is surrounding the whole property. We have a 12-hectare of gardens at Zuri. We have our own spice garden. So definitely one of the highlights. You don't have to really travel to go to the spice gardens. And Zanzibar is super known for its spices. It's really the mecca for the spices. So we do the spice tours daily for all guests complimentary. This is a really nice experience that I always recommend to everyone. We do have 56 units, which start from a bungalow, which already is a very private setting. We don't have this one building. This is really like small little houses, bungalows surrounded in this big garden. So each of them is very private with a terrace. And then it goes to a suite category and to a villa category. The villa categories are located in the beach side. So you would have also the view of the ocean, a private beach access, a butler. So there's a lot that we can really cater for. And yeah, a big part of our concepts or philosophy is also sustainability and well-being. It's definitely something I would also like to touch on. The well-being is we have the biggest yoga deck on the whole island. We provide complimentary yoga classes and not just yoga. We go to Reiki, African healing dance. You can do so much. We can really personalize experiences. And on terms of sustainability, and I hope we will get more into that topic as well, this is also big for us because we are here for the community. We work specifically with the North strongly since the very opening, which was 7 years ago, and it will be in July. Almost half of our staff here that is here for more than 5 years or since the opening. Although despite of our size, which is quite big, we try to have this family feeling, not just for the guests, but also for the staff.
That sounds very interesting. So I'm just going to go back a little bit. We can go into some of these topics in a little bit more detail. You talk about your spice gardens, and yes, Zanzibar is well known for great spices. So the food has to be outstanding at the resort. Would I be correct in saying that?
100%. You touched the point that I like to talk about the most, actually. Food, yeah. We have some wonderful chefs on property. This is something that obviously should be of a standard, but we really try to work with the African with a twist. We have 3 different outlets, restaurants, where we offer different offerings, but we also have something called dining by design. Since I also didn't mention we were part of the design hotels, and design is one of the most important elements at Zuri. Regarding that offering, this is something, it's basically an experience that we will guide you through, and you can decide the location. So it can be from the spice garden to the beach or to your pool or on the deck or anywhere really you wish. We'll provide something special. We do amazing experiences like the beach dinners or the beach lunches. We had many proposals, just like we found these like men coming to us like, oh my God, this is the perfect spot to propose. And then we created also these packages for the proposal. So yeah, the food itself, in the different restaurants, you will get a little bit of a different vibe, but everywhere we try to really make sure that we use seasonal products. We are on the island, so it's not so easy to get the right quality. This is one of the challenges that the island brings us, but this is something that we've been around for a long time. And even if we run out of something, we definitely are here to provide some alternative. Zanzibar is so rich in fruits, so we try to work with the fruits a lot. You get some beautiful products from Tanzania and obviously the seafood. One of the highlights is the barbecues. We have 3 barbecues a week on the beach where we have some local entertainment every night. It's one of these magic moments. I always we have this sunset experience every night on the beach where our guests gather around these bonfire. You have these fat boys and just a bonfire and some local music. Either it can be our duo, Mulford and Kenny, which are these like super passionate artists we work with for 7 years, or we have drummers coming, we have acrobatics dancers.
I have been fortunate enough to travel to Zanzibar myself. It was probably about 12 or 13 years ago. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm looking to come back, hopefully at some stage. But I wanted to touch on the seafood. Obviously, everything's coming out fresh out of the sea. Is the government or national parks running any kind of sustainability program to make sure that we are not taking more than what we need out of the sea?
So this is something that they are actually starting to look into. It's not very regulated at the moment, and it's something that we were also pushing them to do. Since many of those regulations are still at the beginnings, it's not yet developed, and we want to be one of those examples. Yes, I can already see that on the island when there is the mating season for octopus, for example, many of the hotels and small restaurants even, they will not serve octopus, which is very good. So this is also a very good initiative. I know the government was involved in that one. So it's more on the guidance at the moment. Luckily, we work with chefs with the same background of protecting the environment. So we would not buy fish that will be somehow harming the environment. And again, of course, we also follow these different rules that are unwritten or written.
Yeah, that's highly important. And you need that help or initiative from the government. And it really needs to start at the grassroots level, doesn't it? Because it's that poor guy that's always been a fisherman who's really going to be affected by not being able to fish at a particular time when days gone by, he was allowed to fish whenever he wanted. So we need to give him another source of perhaps income and another source of perhaps feeding his family. Isn't that right?
That's very true. You see so many of them, so you understand that fishing on the island, especially, it's even growing because of the many hotels that are being built here. So for them, they are definitely seeing more demand, but at the same time, as you say, 100% we will need that guidance.
Yeah, listen, I think we agree. It definitely has to start at grassroots level, because if the kids push it, then everything's just going to be fine. So let's hope that we can continue to be guided and show guidance to the younger generation. I also wanted to touch on another activity, scuba diving. I'm assuming that you offer that from the resort. Now, again, I was there about 12 years ago, and I went down about 20 meters and got to a piece of coral that was just unbelievable, and I didn't want to move. I was quite happy to sit there on the seabed and just see this unbelievable amount of fish and other animals living on this piece of coral. Please tell me that the scuba diving is still as good as what it was 12 or 15 years ago.
I'm not a scuba diver myself. I've only done this beginner's experience, so I wouldn't be able to compare in the first place. In terms of the marine life and the corals, we see this trend everywhere in the world, unfortunately, corals dying. 100% that there was an initiative, and it's been years ago, where there was new regulation on that as well from the government side. It's still a very beautiful spot, still so many divers coming in, and the conditions are usually very good. You can still see very beautiful lives down under. What I was very surprised when I came to Zanzibar is that we are part on the route of the migration of the whales. So I was super lucky to spot that as well. We saw this beautiful whale coming. They go all down south. And this was for me one of the most magical things I've seen. You have in Tanzania and Mafi Island, you have the biggest fish in the world, the whale sharks that can swim with. Very beautiful wildlife. You can see the reef sharks in some of the areas. So still a very nice spot for diving.
Listen, I'm just a little bit disappointed that you don't at least have your open water licenses. You can't possibly live in a place like this and not dive. So next time that we talk, you're going to tell me that you've got your open water and you're doing a little bit of diving at least.
Let's see that. I tried this year for the first time, so maybe I'll take it from there.
Good. So part of my reasoning for doing the podcast is being able to humanize my guest for the listeners. Everyone can go onto a website and everyone sees sale brochures and everything like that. So I want to try and humanize Zofia. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and where you've come from and how you've gotten to where you are today.
It was my first time at Zanzibar when I joined the company. It's been 6 years already. So just a few months after opening, just before I finished my master's studies in hospitality in Scotland, in Edinburgh, where I lived for 2 years. Before I was more on the other side of the industry in the tourism, I was working as a travel designer. So I was on the side where I was designing those beautiful holidays from Prague. Funny enough, I was looking for a job somewhere. Actually, I was forced because of some health reasons to stay in Prague, but I was looking for something to work in sustainability and design, which is my passion, and also, but to work outside of Prague. And this is where I just got a job offer for Zuri Zanzibar. Then slowly I took over the full marketing, and then been 2.5 years ago when I came here for my 5th time, and I was just like, I'm ready to stay.
Zofia, I also wanted to maybe reminisce about a particular story or incident that's happened to you while you've been in the tourism industry. It might be something funny, it might be something a little bit embarrassing, something that you can laugh about yourself, but again, something to share with the listeners. I wasn't going to preempt you on this because it's got to be off the cuff. Something perhaps while you've been in the tourism industry. If you've listened to some of my other shows, you'll hear there's been some really odd things. I'm sure nothing that's going to come out of your mouth is going to be too scary.
Talking of scary, we have some funny stories definitely even from Zuri. It's very rare, so I don't want to scare anybody, but we are in the middle of the jungle. So we had this at the beginning quite scary incident, but later on it was a story to tell. I was organizing this wedding, and I used to be in charge of the Czech and Slovak speaking weddings since I had the language. And one day we were getting ready, and the bride was super excited, and it was the day of the wedding. And then suddenly she called me, and she had some kind of an issue, and we realized that we have these outdoor showers in the rooms, and when she was getting her towel that she hung there was a small green snake that just fell out of the towel. And imagine it's like 11 a.m. your makeup artist just arrived and the snake jumps on you. They're harmless. We don't have any animals here that would harm you. So at this point they wanted to call the day off. It was quite a scene, and I totally understood it because it wasn't pleasant, but I managed to get them some shots. So we took them to the beach, we had some shots, and at the end when they were leaving, that was actually their speech of the wedding. We were even Googling later that it was like a good sign. It was bringing prosperity to their wedding. It was one of those situations that you deal with. Yeah, many stories.
On the wedding one, you can look at it and say, maybe that was a sign that she shouldn't have got married.
Text me, they're good.
Oh, that's fantastic. They still text you, they're good.
They're planning to come back.
Okay, then you did a good thing. Zofia, thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting to you and having you on the show. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with us. And yeah, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting us. And yeah, we'll be happy to see you here. Just let me know. Even now it's boat season and we have wonderful weather. So we've been blessed.
Thank you again, Zofia. It was really refreshing chatting to you today. Today I was chatting with Zofia Dolnikova, who's the general manager at the Zuri Zanzibar in Zanzibar. If you enjoyed the show, please rate the show on Apple Podcasts or drop me an email. Tune in again next week when we will be chatting to the sales and marketing team from Dulini Safaris, currently operating from Sabi Sands and in the Lower Zambezi in Zambia. My name is Rails Eve, and consider this. A few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you will still remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.